So, Beyond Light is only 2 months away, and as some of you know, Bungie has been fairly generous in letting us grind a bunch of things way more than usual. We got our double loot Lake of Shadows Nightfall going on, you should probably get on that by the way, and other than that, some raids can be farmed repeatedly with no loot cap. One of those raids is Scourge of the Past, which people have burned through a ton to get their precious Anarchy grenade launcher. If you haven't seen my guide on how to do that, link down low in the video description. Did you know though, there's another rare exotic you can try to farm for pretty easily before Beyond Light. Is it as good as the Anarchy? No, but remember my golden rule. Wait, no, not that rule, the other golden rule. Bungie could buff anything at any time. Even though the TARRABAH SMG isn't top tier right now, SMGs could always get a blanket buff in the future, or Bungo could directly make the TARRABAH totally cracked. You never know. And while they've made it clear that you'll still be able to get the TARRABAH in year 4, we don't know exactly how, and because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, might as well farm for TARRABAH right now while we know how to do it, and while there's unlimited farming with no loot cap. But before we get going, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Ridge Wallets. These things are beautiful, and I'm glad to promote them on my channel because I've actually been using one myself for about the past year. No joke, this right here has been my actual wallet. A lot of guys I know are still lugging around wallets like this. Big, bulky, floppy, and uncomfortable, doesn't sit well in your pocket, and you gotta move it around when you sit down. As I mentioned, over a year of the Ridge wallet, and I'm just never going back. It's light, sleek, and efficient. It doesn't fold or bulge out awkwardly in your pocket. It's got room for all my cards and a clip for bills when I am carrying cash. They've got over 30 colors and styles on their website, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Sounds like a Destiny shader. They've got 30,000 5-star reviews, one of them being mine, and each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Yes, you can buy just one wallet and boom, carry and use it for life. The Ridge is so confident you'll like it that they'll let you test drive it for 45 days, and if you don't, you can send it back for a full refund. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/falloutplays and use promo code falloutplays. Link to their site in the video description, and thank you again to Ridge for sponsoring today's video. Okay, back to the TARRABAH. You should get it now before Beyond Light, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. First, the bad news. You have to either A, go through the entire Crown of Sorrow raid to get to the boss fight, or B, get lucky enough to grab a Crown of Sorrow boss checkpoint, either through a friend, a clanmate, an LFG site, or what have you. I know, a pain in the butt, although if you have friends who don't have the TARRABAH already, maybe they'll be more likely to party up with you for farming. Anyway, once you have the Crown boss checkpoint, you're in the clear, because you're able to farm this raid repeatedly with no cap on your loot. It means you can literally just save the checkpoint on one character, then repeatedly swap to another character over and over to beat it. For example, I had the checkpoint saved on my Titan, used my Titan to load up the encounter, had a friend join me, then I swapped to my Warlock, and beat it using my Warlock. When the encounter is over, load the checkpoint up on my Titan, again, rinse and repeat. TLDR, once you have a boss checkpoint, you don't have to go through the entire Crown raid all over again. You can just repeatedly save and farm the boss checkpoint by passing it from one character to another. Alright, so you got your checkpoint. What now? Well, now you beat the boss. So first, let's go over the mechanics of the boss fight. Next, let's cover what your loadout should be so you can pull off the optimal one-phase boss wipe. Okay, the mechanics. The area is pretty much one big triangle, and you and your team are gonna break up into 3 groups of 2. Use whatever location callouts you want, but for right now, I'm going with stairs, purple, and red. Oh, but Fallout, all the sides have stairs. Yeah, but one side has more stairs than the others. Whatever. When launching the encounter, which you do by shooting the boss, one member of each team should be standing right here on stair side of the map. Reason being, at the beginning of each encounter, anyone standing in that little hive rift which pops up is going to get a condition called Witch's Blessing. It's a weird buff that you and your partner are going to be swapping back and forth every 30 to 40 seconds. In a nutshell, here's everything you and your partner are gonna have to deal with. First of all, killing hive. Duh. Hive pop up in every section and you gotta gun them down. Some hive are immune to your damage. That is where the Witch's Blessing buff comes in. Certain Hive can only be killed by the Witch's Blessing Guardian, and other Hive can only be killed by a regular non-buffed Guardian. Between the two of you, work together to kill all Hive in your area. The next thing you gotta worry about are these random ass crystals that pop in. You gotta find them when they pop up, get inside their little bubble, and shoot them point blank to break them. If you don't do that relatively soon, by the way, everyone in the fire team is gonna die, and you're gonna start over. Therefore, try to make killing the crystal a priority when it appears in your section of the map. It's gonna rotate around the map clockwise, by the way, so once your section is done breaking the crystal, maybe give your buddies in the next section the heads up that it's gonna be heading their way. Third thing you gotta worry about is trading the Witch's Blessing buff back and forth with your partner. If you don't get rid of your blessing by the time the timer on your HUD goes all the way down, you will die. So here's how you do that. Around the map, there should be 3 large purple orbs embedded in the floor. Shooting the orb activates the trade, but you have to be right on top of it in order to swap. So when your timer is low, or if there is a lull in the Hive combat, tell your partner you head over to the orb on the right side of your area. That way every team has their own orb. You both shoot it together point blank, and boom, you trade the Witch's Blessing and reset the timer. There is a way to not trade, but share the Witch's Blessing with somebody else, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, this mechanic right here is what might trip new raiders up the most. A good rule of thumb is every 2 waves of Hive that you kill, go over and swap the buff with your partner. Don't forget. Okay, after a little time's gone by in the boss fight, these mini jabronis are gonna start showing up. Don't bother shooting them, you can't kill them with gunfire. You have to trick the big boss into whacking the little one to death with an axe. You do that by baiting the little boy to the top middle area of your section. When he's there, you and your partner both melee him at the same time, which will freeze him in place. When I say you and your partner need to melee him, one Guardian has to have the Witch's Blessing, and one Guardian has to be normal. So when you both melee and he's frozen in place, one Guardian should wait and chill, keeping an eye on Big Chungus. You'll notice one of his hands will glow green. Shoot it, it'll cause him to whip out a big axe out of nowhere and murder his own little jabroni clone with a big whack. What's the other Guardian doing while Guardian A shoots the glowing green hand? Well, back when you both meleeed Mini Chungus to freeze him, that actually eats up and destroys the Witch's Blessing that one of you had. You're still gonna need that because Hive are gonna keep showing up, and you need the blessing to kill both types of Hive. So while Guardian A is shooting the green hand, Guardian B rolls over to the nearest purple orb and calls out to the rest of the fire team that he needs a buff. This is where sharing the Witch's Blessing comes into play. If anyone on the fire team has the Witch's Blessing, you can shoot the orb from afar in order to share it with whatever Guardian is right on top of it and shooting the orb as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between trading the blessing and sharing it. Sharing it means you now both have it, whereas trading it means one person swaps having it with another person. So Guardian A shoots the hand, Guardian B receives the blessing back again from another generous member of the fire team, and boom, one side of the triangle is done. The other 2 sides will deal with their own Mini Chungus the exact same way, and if you hear one of them calling out that they need a blessing or help or whatever, give it to them as they gave to you. Continue killing Hive until all 3 Mini Chungai are dead. Now you're almost at the DPS phase. You gotta find out which big boy is the real big boy. Now with each big boy, you'll see their hand glowing green. One Guardian in the 2-man team shoots the left hand, the other shoots the right. When both hands are no longer glowing, shoot Big Chungus in the face. If he disappears, he was fake, and if he doesn't, well, that is the real one. Whichever side is the real big boy, every Guardian first swap your buff, never forget that, then head on over to the side with the real big boy. Damage the crap out of him as much as you can. Every now and then he will go immune, and you have to shoot his glowing green hands down before being able to re-damage him again. If you don't end up killing him in one phase, no worries, just rinse and repeat for an easy 2-phase. Alright, now let's talk about what you can do to optimize your loadout and 1-phase the big boy. The most important things you'll need are as follows. Number 1, a Ward of Dawn, which you'll use to get a Weapons of Light buff to do massive damage to the boss. And number 2, a Well of Radiance. While it doesn't stack with the Ward of Dawn damage buff, The repeated health regen can help protect you against Hive Thrall that will repeatedly be biting your butt while you damage the boss. Essentially, the well is there not for damage, but to keep you alive. Number 3, and maybe the most important thing for a one-phase, oppressive darkness from your seasonal artifact. I highly recommend having 2 to 3 players on your team running OD. Damage-wise, we found that the best way to one-phase Galrin was using the exact same method with either one of 2 loadouts that I'll get into in a minute. The general idea is to run up to Galrin's leg, your right, his left, drop a bubble behind where you'll be standing for quick access to a weapons buff, then dropping your Well of Radiance right in front of his leg. One fire team member will hit Galran with an Oppressive Darkness grenade, and then you wail on him with your DPS weapon of choice right in the leg. Eventually, you'll have to take a quick pause to shoot down his green hands again, then you resume the 1-2 combo of Oppressive Darkness again, and popping off on his leg with huge DPS. Here's both loadouts my team found were the easiest to one-phase him with. Loadout number 1, the 4th Horseman Exotic Shotgun, paired with any grenade launcher in the power weapon slot that has the perk Auto-Loading Holster. The plan there is to first unload into Galran with your grenade launcher, put it away where it can auto-reload, and swap to your 4th Horseman where you unload all your shells on Galran's leg. You should feel comfortable using loadout number 1 if your 4th Horseman has the exotic Catalyst, which gives you a 5th shot in the mag, which means more DPS before needing to reload. Loadout number 2 is much more straightforward. It's pretty much just the Legend of Acreus and any other weapon you want to use for killing Hive. When it comes to boss damage, just whip out the Acreus and start pumping away at his leg. Now, it's really important that you only use loadout number 2 if you have the exotic Catalyst on your Acreus, which beefs up your reload speed and your magazine size. It's worth mentioning that I think we had 2 Guardians on our fire team who didn't have the Acreus Catalyst unlocked, but we still one-phased Galran anyway. You're just gonna do a lot more reloading, and the DPS comes way easier with more reload and a deeper mag. For other armor mods you might want to throw on, the very obvious thing to equip would be anything that pumps up your reload speed with a shotgun. Arc gauntlets with shotgun reloading, or any exotic that helps you reload quicker, including the Lunafaction boots, which are borderline mandatory for the local warlock in your group who plans on dropping the well in the boss fight. High reload speed, oppressive darkness, and a buttload of exotic shotgun firepower are really the only things I would consider mandatory. Hive barrier or any other armor mods of that nature, IMO, are borderline nitpicking, but do what you gotta do. Just remember the order for combat. Bubble in the back, well at Galran's leg, oppressive darkness, huge damage output, pause to shoot green hand, repeat oppressive darkness, huge damage output, boom, you're done. Oh, and remember, if you fail to one-phase him, well, who cares? Just go for the easy 2-phase. The bottom line is, as long as you save the boss checkpoint and keep passing it from one character to another without losing it, you can farm the crown boss all the doodah day. It's only a matter of time before you get that sweet, sweet TARRABAH. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and help me with my humble quest of one day achieving complete world domination. And as always, if you enjoyed the content today, click the like button. Both are easy to do and help me out a lot, no cap. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.